What percentage of new medicines fail human trials having passed animal tests? 20, 50 or 90? Correct, well done, thank you. 90%.
We're here to help inspire students for a future of science that does not involve animal testing.
To think that we're getting this experience like for free on a school day is, it's really useful, I think.
We've got a selection of talks from various researchers who are working in non-animal science.
We're going to give them a lot to think about.
The LD50, you may or may not have heard of it, but LD stands for lethal dose to 50% of the animals. And this is going to be 100 years old in 2027, and we don't want it to reach its 100th birthday. We don't believe that dosing animals with a chemical at increasing concentrations till you find something that kills 50% of them makes any scientific sense whatsoever.
We learned things like organ chips were made 9 years ago and we didn't even know about that.
Okay, so could you explain the process of the organs on a chip?
So these are small devices that mimic particular organs. They have microchannels in them that are filled with human blood and tissues. So they have increased human relevance when compared to animal tests.
One of the criticisms that's always been levelled at in vitro technologies is the ability to model a whole animal. You know, how do you link up what's happening between the skin and the liver and the kidney, etc. So that's really part of the ethos behind developing these organs on a chip, is having tiny miniature versions of those human organs that have been grown from human cells in those chambers on the chip and actually connecting them up with an artificial bloodstream. You've got to be able to model the systemic effects in an animal. So I just think that's incredibly exciting to see what's happening in that area.
The students are going to be engaging in workshops.
My favourite part is probably the practical work, so like the lab work and making the bath bombs.
Here at Lush, you might know that we are the inventors of the bath bomb. So basically what a bath bomb is consisting of is bicarbonate of soda and citric acid. We mix bicarbonate of soda with fragrance, with colour, with lustre, popping candy, avocado, you name it. If we can get it in a bath bomb, we'll chuck it in there.
In Lush, we conduct safety assessments in an animal-free way. If you are a product that is in contact with the skin, like a cream, a soap, a shampoo, or a shower gel, then you will consider the skin exposure. But you can also have inhalation exposure, for instance, with deodorants or perfumes. And also, some products are potentially being ingested in small quantity, like the toothpaste or the lipsticks, for instance. Another point that is very important to consider is how the consumer will use the product. Will they use it daily, weekly, or monthly? And what is the length of the exposure? So, is it going to be a leave-on product or a rinse-off product?
The reality is that we are testing on humans. We are not testing on animals, and I'm just the example how we test on people.
I'm wearing Rosy Cheeks and he's wearing Don't Look at Me. One's acidic based, one's less acidic based.
What we're doing is we're targeting the area in the left hemisphere that's called Broca's area. So what we're doing here is we're using the magnetic pulses to get those neurons to fire in response to the magnetic stimulator, but not in response to what I want, okay? And I want to say a particular phrase that you all know that you're going to have in your head for the rest of the day. You're welcome. And and I can't say it because those neurons are firing in response to the magnetic pulses and cannot respond to what it is I want them to do. So if we could just press play on this one, please. So what I'm trying to say there is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And when the pulse goes in, it's like the shutters come down and I just cannot speak. It's called speech arrest. Okay, so we know that this is the area of my brain that actually produces the speech. It creates those motor programs for speech. Now, what's really interesting is that what you might have realized with a variety of people who have had various forms of brain damage, that, or even people who stutter, and stuttering is like a miscommunication between both sides of the brain, that actually the other side, same place but on the other side, has to do with singing. So maybe if I try to sing, even though I'm getting stimulated on this side of my brain, could I sing as well? So do you want to hit play on that? I really apologize for this.
okay, you can sing through it.
It's so important to make sure that we're empowering the new generation of scientists coming through and providing them with careers that are future fit and really embracing modern science. So we're not just talking about animal testing and how unreliable it is. We're really focusing on what are the solutions, what's the new technology, and how exciting is that?
I just want to give you a few examples about some of the work that we're doing. You can see on the top left there, it's a cross-section through reconstructed human skin, which has been grown in the lab using human cells. If you had a comparison of a cross-section of in vivo skin in a real person, it would look virtually identical to that. So what we're able to do is to dose either different products or different ingredients onto the skin surface and to measure the damage that's going on underneath. And we're able to do that and also to culture the different types of skin cells in the lab. And that's how we measure things like skin irritation, skin sensitization and allergy, all of those things in a much more sophisticated way than using the animal tests.
My best bit about today was actually meeting the people in the profession.
My favourite thing about the day was probably the panel.
I absolutely love my job. I really feel like I am making a difference. It's a very tiny difference, but last year in the US, we were part of a group that managed to get 4,000 beagles released from a breeding facility. Those dogs would all have gone to labs, they would all be dead by now, but they're now in beautiful, happy homes. And that, to me, is the reason that I get up in the morning and do the job. So it's fantastic.
The vast majority of animal use isn't legally required. It runs basically on supply and demand.
So would it be fair to say then it's kind of a combination of entrenched thinking, vested interests, and even to a degree kind of lazy practice?
We can't say it's the scientists, it's the regulators, it's the industry, it's the companies. It's all of us, and it's us as well. It's us having our voice as well and saying, we don't think this is acceptable anymore. So we all need to kind of pull together on this, and I think this is why today is important for you guys to understand that don't just listen to people that tell you that we have to test on animals. You can use your brains and think, actually, we don't. And when you become a fully grown scientist, you can do different things and you can use different test methods and you can develop this science further.
Being a scientist goes beyond having a lab coat on, doing your experiments. It's about communicating with the outside world about the progress that can be made, the benefits for humankind.
So it just seems that it is better all round. It's quicker, more effective, more accurate.
It is very much about changing hearts and minds as well as influencing regulators and the political landscape.
If we're going out there saying, I'm not buying that, it's got animal products in it, it's been tested on animals, eventually, but hopefully more quickly, industry will follow.
The choices that you make and what career you do, what courses you choose, they really do have an impact.
What a great time it is to be getting into careers in non-animal science right now.
We have the opportunity to explain why human relevant biology is actually much better than using animals, and especially to prove the safety of humans.
Lots of students really engaged, asking amazing questions and really realising that animal experiments should be a thing of the past, and just learning all about the really exciting innovative work that is being done in the field of humane research.
Would you recommend this to other students?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.